Hi everybody, I'm Christina and I'm back to tell you about part 2 of the 3-part series on structural support and how you can help treat yourself. The first P we discussed was the psoas muscle, which didn't have a sound like a P at all, but it was spelled P-S-O-A-S. That was the structure that was in our abdomen area, and it was a deep back muscle, and we could get to it from the abdomen area. Part 2 today, we're going to be discussing another P that doesn't sound like a P. It's called the pterygoid muscle. Sounds like it starts with a T, right? Well, incorrect. It starts with a P. It's spelled, and I'm going to look at it, P-T-E-R-Y-G-O-I-D. Pterygoid muscle. And there are actually a couple of them, 2 of them, and guess where they're located? I'll let you think about it. Okay, they're in your mouth. All right, so I'm going to show you a diagram on nice little Google-inspired map here I found. So we have a lateral and a medial pterygoid. So basically one is sideways and one is vertical. And one of them, the lateral, is the one that makes us say the word la in our mouth. La is the lateral. Think of the L. La, 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 la. And then the medial pterygoid is the one that helps us say the word me. So easy to remember, right? La and me, lateral, medial. All right, so these muscles are very important for our head posture. And if you have any kind of structural issues in your mouth and your jaw, say you're grinding at night, or you have tightness in your jaw, you have teeth issues, neck issues, guess what? A lot of them have to do with those muscles in there, them and along with our mastoid muscle, which comes down the jaw like this. They're very powerful. And if you think of something like a crocodile who can chomp down on something, we have up to 2,000 pounds per square inch of pressure that can be on our mouth. And that is just because of the fascial system that can get restricted. So some of the things that cause those restrictions are what I'm not holding currently because it's filming me are our cell phones. And if we're on our cell phones a lot, we're going to be turning our head and dropping forward, making our neck start to pitch forward. Well, our body doesn't like to be set like that, so it's going to constantly try to recorrect by pulling our head back and tightening the muscles in the back of our neck. So the back of the muscles in the back of the neck get tight, and the ones in the front are going to get tight as well because doesn't want you to fall forward. So there's going to be a constant struggle between the front and the back muscles. These are the sternocleidomastoids. On the sides of our neck are our scalene muscles. They're I call them the Scalini brothers because they're kind of like little mobsters that are hanging onto the sides of your neck. And they all can get tight. So we want to work a lot of those muscles. But the last one is the one that's in the mouth, the pterygoid. And that is something that we can help relieve on our own, when you have some quiet time, maybe about 10 minutes. Now, if you're going to have a friend work on you, you're going to want to use a glove, okay? Because you don't want to be having your friends stick their fingers in your mouth. But if you're working on yourself, well, you can go without a glove. Just wash your hands well and plan on some dripping to come out of your mouth, saliva, things like that. So maybe be in a place that you're comfortable with that, having a towel underneath your neck, or just laying in bed, at night. So you're going to take one of your fingers, whichever one you're most comfortable with, and in between the top and the bottom, you will find a space. All right, so I'm going to show you a little example. These are my friends, the teeth. Okay, so I can't show you really inside of my mouth, and this doesn't have any muscles either. It's just a cheap little Amazon find, but it's kind of fun. Anyway, open it up, and in between the top and the bottom is a space. And that space is where you can get to those palatine muscles by pressing in that space, all right? So pterygoid muscles and the palatines, okay? So this is where you're gonna try to get your finger. All right, so if your mouth is like barely opening and you put your finger back there and you find a hard spot, you want to just kind of hang out there. Your body is not happy when it's forced. So We want to start out slow and just place one finger against the space that's in between the top and the bottom teeth and just apply a little bit of pressure. And it's going to feel maybe like a hard rubber band or even maybe a brick wall if it's really tight. So you want to come to that space and wait. You're going to wait about 3 to 5 minutes just to find out if it starts to soften. And you'll find that maybe at that 5-minute mark, you're going to start to feel something. Maybe you're going to feel heat. Maybe you'll feel a little softening. Just keep at it for a little while and maybe get to about 10 minutes and then take a rest. Once you've had a little rest, go to the other side. Compare the two sides. Is one tighter than the other? And then go to the side that's the most, restricted and hang out there for a little while too. Do the same thing on the other side. And this is one way that you can get to those pterygoid muscles and help relieve some of that pressure that's happening when your mouth is being forced downward by your cell phones and trying to push up and down. So that's where that grinding and pushing happens, because your mouth gets tight because it's going in there and just jamming. So we want to get all that loosened up. That's how we're going to work the pterygoid muscle. So get in there with your finger or with a glove with a finger and try to get that area loosened up. Relax your mouth when you're doing this. If you're tense and tight, it's going to not really work as well because you're going to be fighting with it. And if you do feel like it's a struggle, just relax a little. Just maybe come back out, try the other side a little bit, relax a little. And then eventually, after time, this should start to soften. And hopefully the back of in between your upper and lower jaw will start to soften at the point where you're going to feel a difference when you're sleeping at night or during the day. I feel like when I get a lot of work, when I'm doing work with my upper body, that my jaw tends to want to grind because I feel like my body's trying to self-correct. And all I have to do is work that internal oral area, but I also work the external areas of my neck and chest. So I'll give you a little quick tip on that as well. If you take your hands to your collarbones, which are the bones in the front here, and you do what's the universal chokehold, you're going to draw that area down. So you're going to slowly draw downward, bring your chin down, have your mouth open. And as you're drawing down, then you're going to, with your mouth open, you're going to lift your head and then eventually start to bring the jaw closed. All right, so this is a motion that you can hold for a long time if you like, or you can just do little bits at a time. So the mouth is open, you're taking the slack out by pulling down, and then you're opening, leaving your mouth open, lifting up, and then slowly closing your mouth. And you'll see that their muscles in the neck start to stretch. And when you're up here, you can gently maybe tip side to side a little bit, play around with how that feels. It's a lovely stretch. Sometimes I like to do this while I'm in the shower because, I'm letting the water run on my back, and that feels good. And I'll do this little stretch for the front. All right, just come to wherever feels right for you. And you can also hit up some of these side muscles just by doing head tilts and maybe adding an arm. You're not yanking, you're just gently assisting, and then the other arm can gently reach down. And you could do a little stretch like that. That will work the side scalenes and into the top of the traps. You can do chin pushbacks. So you take your fingers to your chin and push your chin back, and this is all helpful for aligning the neck. And then you can drop your chin down and maybe do little windshield wipers. So you could spend about 20 minutes loosening up your head and neck, and just try that maybe a couple times a week and see if that helps improve when you go to sleep at night, any grinding and things like that. Hopefully you'll get your jaw loosened up, and it'll save you time at the dentist, save you money going to the dentist. Sorry, dentist. I love you all. Thanks for keeping my teeth clean, but I don't want to spend money getting teeth crowns and removals and things like that. I'd like to keep my teeth and jaws happy. So take care, everybody. Namaste. And part 3 is going to be the piriformis, the one that actually sounds like a P.